Hi everybody, Tim here. I'm coming to you from the toy closet down in the basement. It's pretty late, all the kids are asleep. Amy is actually out of town. She's leading worship in South Carolina for a women's event. So we're excited about that. She comes back in 2-3 days. But today we just had a great time hanging out, me and the kids. We got to cook lunch with Owen today. And then I did dinner. We did a basketball tournament of our own. We kind of got a little bit carried away, got excited at the end of the men's basketball. I don't even watch basketball, to be honest, but I got kind of excited with Owen and Kate. We were watching the men's basketball team. They were playing Serbia, I think it was. And anyway, they got through to the final of face France tomorrow or the day after, I forget. While we're watching this, it just dawns on me, you've got about half the world's population watching. Or about 4 billion people watching this around the world. You've got athletes from over 200 countries. There's about 10,500 athletes there gathered in France for about 2 weeks, competing for the bronze, maybe the silver, maybe it's the gold. And then you've got the rich and famous are there. You've got previous Olympic medalists, family, friends, everybody cheering them on. You've got presidents of different countries even tuning in. I heard there was a president from one country that was giving a free ramen for a year and a free car or something like that. These crazy deals that are going on, and you've got the lucrative sponsorship deals that sometimes come as a result of winning 1, 2, 3, 4 gold, whatever it might be. And it just struck me, what is God looking for? What does he see as significant? What is it that he sees, and how does he reward? Reminded me of Paul in 1 Corinthians 9:25 says, all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away. It's fleeting, it's temporal. Like James says, it's like a vapor that's here and then it's gone. It's just gone. But we do it for an eternal prize. The race that we're running is eternal. The things that we get to do, that we're called to do on our race, that you're called to do on your race, those have eternal impact and they carry eternal rewards. So I think sometimes where we slip up, where we trip up maybe, is we're looking for the big thing. The world certainly is looking for the big thing. Even, in the Tower of Babel, or Babel, however you say that, they're looking to build something bigger and better. They're building unto themselves. They're building to be seen. But God's saying, who will hear my thought? Who will hear my word? Who will build what I want to build? That's the Laodicean church. They were building. They had a lot going on. But he said, actually, guys, this is not what I want. I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for to share my perspective so that you can act on it and see and do something a little bit differently. So it reminds me of Matthew 10:42. This is in the Amplified, says, whoever gives to one of these little ones, and the little ones is clarified here, those who are humble in rank or influence. So these are people that others might see as insignificant, but God's saying, no, these are very important. In fact, what you do is very important, and who you're doing it for is very important. These who are humble in rank or influence, even a cup of cold water, I mean, that's about as insignificant as you could get, seemingly, but God's saying, actually, this is very important to me. What you're doing and who you're doing it for. I'm going to start that whole verse over again and read the whole thing. Whoever gives to one of these little ones, these who are humble in rank or influence, even a cup of cold water to drink, because he is my disciple, truly I say to you, he will not lose his reward. To me, that's amazing. That the world is looking for one thing and exalting one thing. And here's God saying, I'm looking for something else. This is who I will look at. Isaiah 66 verse 2, he says, these are the ones I look on with favor. I want God to look on me with favor. Those who are humble and contrite in spirit and who tremble at my word. In other words, those who will receive my perspective, who will receive and place importance on my word and then will act on it. Those are the ones that I'm looking at. And so sometimes what's in front of us, it seems insignificant. It's easy to overlook if we're not tuned in and dialed in. But in Colossians, we're admonished. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, whatever your task may be, work from the soul, that is, put in your very best effort as something done for the Lord and not for men. Knowing with all certainty, I love that, with all certainty, that it is from the Lord, not from men, that you will receive the inheritance which is your greatest reward. It is the Lord Christ whom you actually serve. And so we're looking for his reward. We're looking to see what's important to you. I want that to be important to me, and I want to receive your reward, not the reward of man. I don't want to do this to be seen by men. I want to do this to be seen by you. And then, I'd never seen this, but when God says something 3 times within 12 verses, we need to pay attention. It's Matthew 6 verse 4, Matthew 6:6, and Matthew 6:16 says, your Father who sees everything will reward you. Again, your Father who sees everything will reward you. And Matthew 6:16, your Father who sees everything will reward you. So you may be going through a season right now. Maybe you're not seeing it. Maybe you feel distant. Maybe you're in a wilderness season. And God's trying to bring a little bit different perspective to you and show you something of his heart. In Galatians 6:9-10, we're admonished, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those who are of the family of God. I love that. So don't overlook, don't underestimate, don't undervalue what's in front of you, because God sees and God will reward, and he's putting things, opportunities in front of you to do good to everyone, especially to those of the family of God. So I want to close with a little story. Amy and I were on an anniversary. We'd actually gotten away for 2 days up to Boulder, and we were sat at the Dushanbe tea house. Check it out online. It's a tea house. It's handcrafted, artisanal, painted, and it's a gift from the mayor of the town in Tajikistan that Boulder's twinned with. I forget the name of the town. Anyway, we sat there, and there's an elderly lady sitting by herself, and we decided, yeah, let's pay for her meal. We'll give a good tip as well. And all of a sudden, a young man comes in and a young lady sit at the same table. We think, it's 3 people now, but let's do it. We were celebrating. We wanted to do something to bless someone else. So we asked our server to talk with their server, and secretly we did the whole thing at the end of their meal. They wanted to pay, and they were told no. And of course, they were all excited and smiles, and then they walked out. And a few minutes later, we sat, drinking a chai tea, and which, by the way, is very, very good. It's the best we've ever had. It's from the Dushanbe Tea House in Boulder. And we walked out, and our server came literally running afterwards saying, wait, I've got to tell you the backstory. And she said she was I think she was a psychology major. She'd been in Boulder for about 3 years, coming towards the end of her studies. And she said, that's the kindest thing I've seen happen in Boulder in 3 years. And now I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is really the opportunity. This is the real gift the Lord had given to us for our anniversary. What do we say to this server? And so I just looked inside, and I felt like God was saying, tell her, hey, you've been in Boulder for 3 years, and you've seen God active. You've seen God do something so beautiful for this couple, for these 2 kids, and for the grandmother. What had happened was the grandmother had just buried her son, and the grandkids had just buried their father. They'd just come from the funeral. And so we just got to encourage her and say, hey, this is God in action. This is the love of God. And you've seen God in action. Never forget that God is real, that he sees and that he loves and he takes action. And we believe God wanted you to see that today, that this was something significant he wanted to share with us. And we're just happy that we could share this with you. So what has God put in front of you? It may seem insignificant. It may be something that you've been overlooking. Look at it again with fresh perspective. Know that God is putting something and someone, more importantly, in front of you, and he wants to show you something he wants to do in their life. So I encourage you to take those steps, take those opportunities that are coming. Do good to everyone, especially to those who are of the household of faith. Appreciate you liking this, sharing it, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.